My name is Christy Hinton. I am a wife, a mother of three. I am a licensed educator. I am a minister in the Lord's Church. And I am a loctician because, I do this and I love it. But today I'm going to be talking to you about how you can overcome infidelity. Now, let's be clear from the jump. I am not coming to you from the viewpoint of the victim. I'm coming to you as the perpetrator and how we can overcome infidelity in our marriage. I know that some people say that it's a deal breaker. You cheat on me, we're done. But then there are those of us that have marriages that we know are worth fighting for. And if that is you, then we're going to talk about that today. So the first thing I want to talk about is trusting the love of your spouse. You have to trust the love that you know that your spouse has for you. So let's go here. So do you ever have conversations in your head where if you have to have a hard conversation with your spouse, you personally can have that whole conversation with them by yourself? What I'm going to say and then what they're going to say. Oh, but if they say this, then I'm going to say that. And if they do this, then I'm going to do that. You've had this whole scenario to play out in your head that has not even happened. We got to silence those conversations. We have to silence those inner conversations, especially when they're not productive. We have to trust the love that we know that our spouse has for us. Who said that when we got married, hard things were not going to happen or hard conversations were not going to have to occur? They are. But when you trust the love that your spouse has for you and trust that having hard conversations with them, you have a soft place to land, then that makes it easier. Not saying it's going to be easy, because hard conversations, especially when you're having to reveal that, there has been infidelity, it's never easy. It's just not. But when you have a soft place to land, when you know that you have your spouse's heart, it's easier. It's going to be painful. There's going to be some, there's going to be pain. There's going to be hurt. There may even be some resentment. There will be some boundaries that you'll have to set. There'll have to be some things that you'll have trust that has to be regained. All of those things are going to occur, but you have to have the conversation. The worst thing that you can do is keep a secret. Keep that bottled up on the inside of you, because then that begins to eat away at you. You have no peace. I know I had no peace. So you have to release those things and trust the love of your spouse, that whatever happens, if you guys choose to work it out, that it's gonna produce a better marriage in the end. So trust your spouse, trust the love that they have for you. Number 2, get counseling. I know that for a long time in the Black community, going to see a therapist or getting counseling was almost taboo. Like we were just too good for that, or not so much that we were too good, we were too prideful. That's just what the truth is. We're too prideful to go seek help, and part of that stems from how we were brought up. Whatever happens in this house stays in this house. Keep this hush hush. We're not gonna talk about that. That's how families get jacked up, because folk don't talk about stuff. But there's no shame, nothing wrong with seeking help, with seeking counseling. You may have to do individual counseling, and then you can do couples counseling, but get help. Sometimes we need help processing our thoughts. Sometimes we need help processing our words. If we have things that we want to say, we don't know quite how to say them. Our therapist can help us to work through that. Sometimes things are hard to say. They might be easier to write. Because let's be real. Sometimes stuff that comes to this mind that I want to say, even though my point may be valid, what I have to say is how I feel, and this is just what it is. But the way it's going to come out of my mouth is not going to be received well on the other end of the conversation from my spouse. So sometimes it's okay to write things down. Go to your counselor. Hey, this is what I'm feeling. This is how I feel about this. I know that if I say this to them this way, it's not going to go over well. Help me process my thoughts so I can get this out so we can move past this place. That's okay. It is okay to receive help, because there was a commercial years ago that said the mind is a terrible thing to waste. This mind, y'all, can be bad. So sometimes we need help processing what it is that we're trying to say, what it is that we're trying to do. So yeah, it's not taboo if you need a counselor. It's not anything wrong with it. If you need therapy, it's okay, because we need help sometimes. And number 3, bridge the gap. So what do you mean? We are constantly changing. The person that I am today is not the person I was 15 years ago when I got married, and vice versa. The person that my husband is today is not the person that he was 15 years ago when we got married. So we're constantly changing, right? But we have to be open in our marriages and open with our spouse to say, hey, this doesn't work for me anymore. This is, I don't need this anymore. This is what I need from you now. Or, that used to work for me. This doesn't work for me. This is what I need. It's okay to express those things, because if you don't, you will be frustrated with how your marriage is, going along, and then your spouse will be clueless because, hey, I thought this always worked for you, or, this is always what you wanted, but now that it's not, now you're frustrated and he's frustrated, or she's frustrated, doesn't know why, because you're not communicating. So, communicate with your spouse. This is what I need. This is what I, this is, blah, 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 blah. This is what I need from you. I don't need this anymore. I would like more of this. We have to communicate those things so that we'll feel loved, we'll feel supported, we'll feel appreciated. And then when you communicate those things, it doesn't leave room for anybody else or anything to sneak in and try to get you right back to the point of, having an affair, whether it's a physical affair or an emotional affair. All of our attention should be directed towards our spouse. All of the things that we need should come from our spouse. But if we're not communicating what we need from them, that leaves a door open for someone else to sneak in and to try to give to you the thing that your spouse is supposed to be giving to you. And if you find yourself there, it's not, it's never a good place. The feeling at the moment, it may feel good at the moment, but once it's over and you stop and process that thing, there's a level of fear and guilt and shame and remorse. At least there was for me, because I knew that what I was doing was wrong, and I knew that if my spouse found out, that it would hurt him. So because I love him, it's not worth it. It's not worth not having those conversations. It's not worth not letting him know that some things have changed and that we need to do things differently. And so ask your spouse on a frequent basis, hey, does this still work for you? Do you still like this? Is there anything, that's changed in you? Is there anything that I do that doesn't work for you anymore? Is there anything that I say, or, hey, take it to the bedroom. Is there anything in the bedroom that ain't working for you, or something that you want? You're Your spouse is, your best friend who you're going to spend the rest of your life with. So if you can't be open with them about that, I mean, who else you going to talk to, right? Um, so yeah, trust your spouse. Trust the love that your spouse has for you. Um, don't be afraid to have conversations. Don't be afraid to, I'm not going to say don't be afraid because, sometimes there is a level of fear depending on what the conversation is. But then, we have to do things afraid because if we don't lay them out there, we'll never know, what's happening, what's going on the inside of us. Get counseling. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. People do it all the time. It is okay. That's why they're there. I mean, if it wasn't okay, then there wouldn't be a need for counselors or there wouldn't be a whole industry full of therapy. So get the help that you need. Don't be so proud or so prideful that, you will allow your ego to keep you stuck in a place, or you allow your ego to tear your marriage apart um, because you just think I don't need it, but you do. We all do at some point. And hey, if you can't get to a licensed therapist, then find you another couple, a couple that has a healthy, strong marriage. Maybe somebody that has experienced the same, experienced the infidelity and have overcome it. Then get with that couple. Talk with them on a regular basis. How did they do it? It's okay. There's nothing new under the sun. People have been cheating since the Bible days. Get the help that you need. And then again, bridge the gap. Have those conversations. What's changing? What do I need? What don't I need anymore? Um, um, what do you need? What don't you need anymore? Have those conversations so that you guys are continually growing together, right? So yeah, again, my name is Christy, and that's how I believe that you can overcome infidelity in your marriage. God bless.